Fala galera, welcome to episode number 11 of the Mosaic series. In this one, we are going to discuss time intelligence, or as some of you might know, time transformations, right? The ability to compare current value or current metric values against previous period ones. For example, you might have a net revenue metric that shows today's value, and then you want to compare this against last day or last month or last quarter, last year's revenue. All right, so that's the idea behind time transformations or time intelligence, as we're calling it in this video. During the video, you will see two different ways to do it, right? The first one is using the chatbot for metric creation. In this one, you will see how to use the previous period function that Strategy is introducing. And then later for period over period, for the percentage one, I'll show you how to do it with the help of the metric formula. So these will be the two different ways to do it. Let's go and see it right now in the video. All right, we have this mosaic model available right here. Notice we have like a few metrics. In this example, in this demo, I'll be creating last quarter's net revenue and last year's net revenue. The first thing we need to have in mind is that before we create the metric, we need to enable time-enriched attributes for the date attribute. It could be order date, or it could be, in my case, I just have date, all right? So let me double-click date. And as you will see here, I already did this before. So let me go to time attributes. As you notice, day interval, month interval, quarter interval, year interval, all of these are available already. So this is a requisite, this is mandatory, all right? That's the first step we need to make sure we have in place. All right, so with that in mind, let me go and click create new metric here. And then the metric I need in my example is last quarter's net revenue, as you can see here. So I'm sending this to the chatbot. It will start to analyze the metric. And here is what we need. Basically, this is the function that has been introduced previous quarter. No need for transformations anymore. It's just a simple function as you see here. Date is the attribute. 1 is the offset of time. In other words, if you see it like 1 is 1 quarter ago. If you add it like 2, it will be 2 quarters ago in this example, correct? And then net revenue is the metric we want to leverage for this example. Let me go ahead and click create, as you see here. And here we have it, all right? So that's the formula for last quarter's net revenue. If you want maybe a new one, like, I don't know, last year's net revenue, you can definitely do so. Let me do it. So here we have the instructions for last year's net revenue, as we did before. Let me send it to the chatbot. It will analyze, and of course it will create a new metric for us. Again, the function available here, the attribute, the amount. You can definitely modify this later, as I mentioned before, in the metric. You see here the breakdown. It also tells you that data formatting will be applied. Since this is net revenue, which has been formatted as currency, this brand new one will also be formatted as current. Isn't that cool? So let me click create button here, and there we go. We have two brand new metrics: last quarter net revenue, last year net revenue. Let me save this one. Okay, so let's see the result by clicking the model, create a dashboard, and I'll be using year first, as you can see here. Remember, in this example, I already have a year attribute in the model, but the one I'll be choosing and using in this example is the year interval, the time enriched attribute. Remember, right? Instead of just adding it, let me just first modify a property here. Let me go to number format, use the interval, this guy here, click OK, and then let me go ahead and add it to the grid, as you can see here. And now I can just go ahead and add net revenue first, and last year net revenue. There we have it, all right? This is what we need, a comparison between this year's revenue. So if this is the number for 2023, last year revenue will show up in here. I'll be saving this one. Let me go back to my model as I'm doing here and show you how to create the additional ones, the period over period metrics. In my case, I have them created already, quarter over quarter and year over year. So those, if you double click on this one, I did them manually. It was not the chatbot creating them for me. Okay, in the current release, it's not supported, but it's definitely possible to leverage them. As you see here, it's a basic formula. It's net revenue minus last year's net revenue divided by last year's net revenue. You give it a name, you apply the formatting, this is percentage, these can have decimal places as you see here, and the same thing with quarter over quarter. If you double click here, as you see, it's a basic formula. You do it this way, you click create metric and you add the formula right here. Easy like this. We have them both in here. Let me close my model without saving this time because I already have them here. Let me go back to the dashboard, the time transformation dashboard that I created. It was just like this. Now let me add the year over year metric here. Let me click edit. Year over year is the last one. I'm double clicking this one and here you have the result. Alright, before wrapping up the video, let me just show you where to find these new functions. I'm here in Mosaic, creating a new metric. On the right corner, you see functions, and it's right here. You can just select internal functions, this one here, scroll down, and find the brand new ones. Previous quarter, previous year, previous month, and previous day. Of course, you can search for them. That's totally fine, as I'm doing right now. And the good thing is that once you click in any of them, you will get a description and then later one example. Just wanted to mention this. All right, that was it for this one. So as you saw, it's pretty easy, not very complex, no more need for transformation tables, transformation objects and strategy. All you have to use is a function in Mosaic. Hope you guys like this one. And as I normally say, I'll see you at the next corner.